Champions League RL. Um, yeah, Hazel's got it right there. And so just raid into that right now, and then you're good. If you want to cast with me, you can. If not, all good. I assumed you were busy. Um, oh, my bad. Thank you so much for doing this. This is a huge help to Champions League. Um, but yeah, just raid right in, and then yeah, just hit raid once you can, and then we're all good to go. Um, okay, that's all I need from you. Thank you so much. Yep, thank you. Have a good night. Good luck with scrims. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome back to Champions League, as we have an a very interesting match here today. Maybe one not so many people expected um, going into this one, as it will actually be. See, when you go into a lower bracket matchup, you're especially lower round one of the playoffs. Yes, you can be here, Nez. My Twitch streams are normally 18 plus, which is why you cannot be there. Sometimes I don't do it. Just for my streams, check if it says 18 plus at the start. If it says 18 plus at the start, you can't be there. Um, but anyways, getting into this one. Uh, so this is definitely an interesting scenario, as nobody could have nobody could have predicted this. Uh, Not a single one of the people in the rankings committee had this happening, uh, and I don't think anyone at home had this happening. As it will be, excuse me, it will be Lethal Synergy versus uh, versus Galactic in the first lower round matchup. Now, so this is definitely an interesting one. I'll be right back. I just need to run to the bathroom. Quick break. Okay, I'm back. Apologies, but again, expectations for this. I mean, people are expecting LSE to win, uh, and but this is definitely not not what anyone was ready for. As some people foreshadow a galactic loss, but a lethal synergy Um, Definitely not what was expected, as unfortunately Lethal Synergy had to forfeit. Um, but the players have expressed that they want to get right back into it. Um, so we'll get into it once they get in, but just taking a quick look at the rosters and what this looks like. It's Galactic with Flicks, Nobody, and Scrub versus Lethal Synergy with Yubo, Alphaba, and Glinda. And again, Lethal Synergy had to forfeit the round one. So interesting to see, because we do know later on later on, you remember that if you make it to the grand finals. Oh wait. I put the wrong team names again. This is the one thing I always do. I always do this. Is I always forget the team names. But this is kind of unprecedented. I mean, we saw some crazy runs last season in the championship, but to have the 2 seed down already, and the problem is what some people are mentioning is, hey, does anyone stop Swish now? As Swish's team now, they could have a route to finals, and um, but this is in the R. They're complaining about the map that's in the RLCS map pool, but just a reminder that these two teams, I mean, 8-1 and 7-2. Galactic only losing to SG and Lethal, but uh, but yeah, guys, thank you so much to the 16 people for being here. Love and appreciate having you guys here. But again, I mean, this is a great season out of both of these teams. Maybe a bit more sketchy for Galactic. They did have a forfeit, but it was against SG. Um, kind of could predict how that could have gone down. Again, really looking at Alphaba and Glinda to bring the pressure as the dangerous duo, but the players are now getting into the lobby. So we will get this going. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your first elimination match of the playoffs. It's none of the teams that people were expecting. We expected most hated and Enigma, and we got LSC and Galactic. It's the 2 seed versus the 3 seed. A spot in lower round 2 hangs in the balance. Let's get into it. Galactic looking to start off strong. Nobody, that's the man to watch. He had such a quiet series against Enigma. A lot of people were disappointed, but another man to watch is Flicks, and he's going to step up first for his team. Ladies and gentlemen, we talked about it, that these teams are not supposed to be here, but they are. And Flicks proving that maybe his team should be ready to move on. I mean, Uh, I mean, and another thing to point out is Crox's Socks is playing in place of Alphaba. And so, I mean, this is definitely an interesting case. We're gonna hope Alphaba can show up, but Crox's Socks has played 2 matches with them. We're communicating a little bit backstage about something. But, I mean, right now, Glinda gonna get the scoring going for Lethal Synergy. This is an uphill battle for them with Crocs being in. But you can see nobody trying to throw it over to Scrub. And here Galactic are leading early. The thing is, Alphaba's out, but Glinda is still not someone to scoff at. He's still such a great player. But the question is, can he lead this team without his duo by his side? Now keep in mind, Crox's Socks, he's 225. This is not what the normal rating should be for their team. Normally it's at 260, and so Crox's Socks says rather big shoes to fill with those socks, but we're gonna have to see if he can. And again, he's only played for 2 matches for Lethal Synergy. He has the least games played out of any active member in Champions League. And Glinda gonna send it high to Crocs, is gonna look to bring it from the heavens, but couldn't get it on target. And now Flick's gonna clear it out. Yubo trying to challenge. You gotta watch out for Yubo. Even though he's the lowest rated player, he is still such a threat and is still always a presence on the pitch. So nothing to scoff at for him. And something that may be a problem is if Scrub gets removed, but Gian, Flicks, and Galactic trying to bring this back. They've kind of cooled off on the offensive side of things. Maybe the pot got a little too hot, but it's not like you need it super hot. You just need to hold this lead. But against one of the best offenses in the league, definitely you want to extend it, as nobody gonna fake it for Scrub. He rips it on target, but it's off the crossbar. And you can see that maybe a little bit of pressure getting to players. Again, the player to watch was nobody. He had a miserable series in the upper bracket against Enigma. A lot of people were really confused by his performance, as it was very uncharacteristic compared to the great player that nobody is. And so we're going to have to see if he can get back in form for this one. So far, so good. As this one just kind of trickling down. Yuba is going to be able to block it, but GM Flex is going to follow it up, and he's going to throw it over to the side wall and pick up a full tank of boots, and that's not the man you want to see on it. Flex, backboard, Scrubs follow up too high. And you can see that Galactic are starting to swarm. A little bit of a fake for nobody, but it doesn't work out as Crocs is going to get the dunk. Now Flicks has to defend, and he can't as Yuba scores. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie game with a minute left. And we talked about that Galactic did not look good in that upper bracket, but this is a team playing without Alphaba. And knowing Yubo personally, Alphaba is not here. This is not a decision to fuck around and play Crocs. Excuse my language. This is a full decision, and that is just influenced by the fact that Alphaba probably cannot play. And the question is, are they going to get him tonight? This will be a miserable way for the 2 seed to go out. Flick's going to look to send it long. 15 seconds left on the clock. As this one kind of getting through, but Galinda going to be able to bounce it away. And now, and Galactic racing back on defense. They got to play defense maybe one more time in regulation. Yuba going to be bounced off. And here, it's still up. The follow-up not going to be there. And Galinda is just going to put it to the ground. Drago, welcome in. Ladies and gentlemen, we have overtime. Here in game one, the pressure's going to be on for both of these teams. Both know what it means. The end of the season if you cannot get 3 games. Flix puts it on target. Yuba barely sits it. Flix missed it. Flix missed. Bit of an awkward position, but he should have had it. We know how good he's been all season long, leading Galactic. And in the clutch moment, just a little bit of stress coming through. Glinda trying to get this one on net. He's the big player that has to step up if Lethal Synergy are going to win this. And you have to wonder, does Lethal Synergy want a long overtime? If Alphaba is just a little late coming home, this is what you want. You want to stall this out as long as you can. That way you can hopefully get Alphaba back. And so for Galactic, you want a bunch of 1-0 games. You want this to be over short and sweet. But we're in overtime. We're going through 6 minutes of play, and these teams cannot be separated, even with the fact that Alphaba's not here. Flix gonna take to the ceiling, looking to challenge Yubo, shuts it down. Crocs trying to make an impact. Again, Crocs has not played much all season, but he'll make an impact here. As his pass to Glinda will find its way into the net, and Lethal Synergy start off 1-0. And now Alphaba's joined the lobby. And Galactic, your chance with the freebie over Crocs might have just gone out the window. Now for Galactic, they gotta figure this out, and it looks like this is some tactical screwing with them. They're gonna play Crocs yet again. Lethal Synergy are not taking this seriously. But you can see Galactic gonna try to get this one out. But this is interesting to see Crocs playing. Again, we haven't really seen him with the team all season. As this one gonna find its way netward, and sorry, just figuring a little something out. But with production side, but Flick's just gonna air dribble this down, and Alphaba backflipped. But this one gonna be thrown across, and Flix has another shot, but Alphaba gonna be able to shut it down. And that's the player that has been regarded as a top 2, top 3 player in the league. He's gonna look to try to prove it against Flix, who also is in that conversation for one of the best in the league. I mean, it's been a back and forth debate who's better, Flix versus Alphaba. But for this Lethal Synergy team, you have that comfortable barrier now. But for Galactic, it's definitely scary, as Crocs looking to get in on the action. He will almost find it that word, but gonna be shut down here. As this one almost found his way netward, excuse me. And it's going to be interesting here. Croc's going to be able to clear it out. And now Alfaba just finds a shot, and nobody was caught like a deer in headlights, and this is going to be punishing for them. And now, Galactic. Last time it was tied up, they were not able to come back from it, and so gotta see if they can get over that mental block. Again, they had a bad series against Enigma. That's definitely gonna be in the back of their minds as Flix gets the reset and gets this one in the goal, and the rubber ducky is a little quack quack as Flix has something to say off of a beautiful shot. And now Crocs, he is definitely an interesting member to watch, sitting at 225, but trying to see how they can bounce back. But Crocs gonna send this long downfield, and Scrub tries to get this out, but he's gonna be dunked by Yubo, and Yubo picks up a demo. Alfaba has the double, but he missed it. And another uncharacteristic mistake from Alfaba. And now Flix just gonna have to try to take this over, and he's got to be careful. It's an awkward position, and this one, Alfaba's just gonna get it through. And he just dunks it past two of them. Boys, hit the gym, he says. As Crocs also throwing Flix out of the way. Nothing stopping him from that one. But this one actually just gonna find its way in, and you can see the leaderboard a little bit there. But just taking a look at the score, I mean, this is still a bit quiet from nobody. Gonna have to see him step up. And it's what we mentioned, that we have to see that step up from him. It cannot be just Flix. But Flix, when he steps up, he looks so good, and watch him do it. And now Yubo takes the 50 on the kickoff, and Lethal Synergy are starting to run out of time here in game 2. And this one actually gonna find its way in, and hold on a second. And now Alfaba actually just dunks this and hold on, and suddenly it's high game. Ladies and gentlemen, practicing your kickoffs is important. That's why. Now, Galactic have a big question to answer. Can they come back? Yubo trying to clear the way for his team, but now the only way cleared might have been Galactic's. Scrub chased down, missed it! Scrub missed it! He had an open net! And we play on in a tie game! Oh no! The chat is cheering for him, but when his name was called, he didn't answer! No threats in chat, missed. Nobody trying to get this clear out. Croc's gonna shut him down. Flicks pinches it into the middle, but it's only to Croc. Scrub gonna be able to meet him in the air, but he can't beat him. Yubo trying to get this out, but Flicks sends it into the lethal half. Alphaba trying to just take good control of this, but a team bump and the ball touches the ground and we play on to overtime. And now that it's a tied game, in overtime, you gotta wonder if Galactic may choke, and they will! Yubo brings it home for them! And now, ladies and gentlemen, Galactic are down to their final life for the season. Ladies and gentlemen, Galactic now need to reverse sweep. And they've put their starting roster in. This may be the end of the line for our 3 seed in Galactic. What do they have left in the tank to offer? We gotta see something more. Scrub trying to clear it downfield. Nobody trying to get a little bump in. Not going to be able to. And a little bit of a miscommunication. And you got to wonder, are Galactic going to play very nervous? Like that, where we're going to see more double commits and stuff. As this one cleared to the middle. But Glinda going to be the first one to the ball and throwing it away. And now Glinda going to just turn on this. As nobody unable to shut it down. But Evo takes to the skies here, and he's gonna pinch it across, and Flix will be able to take it, but this one ricocheting towards net, and it almost went in, but luckily for Galactic, it was off the post. My, oh my, would it be painful to lose in a sweep. Obviously, they didn't prepare for this, but this is the situation they've had thrown at them, and they need to figure it out and figure it out fast. Alphaba just gonna take his time. Knows he has breathing room. A little bit of a pass across. Flick sending it to the middle, but nobody can't go on that. He was the third man, so unable to push forward. But now Flick's gonna be able to take over on that sidewall. Gets it past Alphaba. Yuba last to beat. Scrub shot is good. And now Galactic have a lead yet again. For Galactic, though, you've choked the lead 2 games in a row. Obviously, Lethal Synergy is one of the best, but this is not the team to choke against. A little bit of lag coming in there from the broadcast, but a miss from Nobody, and Nobody, he's just had such rough games here. And Galinda and Alphaba are starting to heat up at the right moment. A great passing play from them, and Scrub couldn't do anything. And it's a tie game yet again. Yubo, trying to get this out, wants to double up, and he will. And I mean, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on with Galactic? Scrub, just a complete misfire on the jump. Now Scrub trying to pinch this out. Unable to. Flick's gonna demo Glinda in the backline, but Scrub is really awkward here. Yubo just gonna battle for possession. Alphaba sends it middle. Where's Glinda? There's the shot, and it's good! And Lethal Synergy are just running circles around them. I mean, there's nothing more to say. As another double commit and double whiff from Galactic. This isn't the Galactic we saw in the regular season, and we saw it starting to unravel early against Rebellion. And so there were signs to this, but nobody could have expected it would be this bad. Galactic have a minute and 30 left, though. The good news is they still have time. The bad news is not much. And Galactic are going to try to right the ship here. They are down 2 goals. 120 seconds left here in order to turn this around. Or sorry, 1 minute and 20 seconds, excuse me. But I mean, this just... they're not getting close to the Lethal Synergy net. They have to try to turn this around. Alphaba trying to take over. He's going to fake it for Glinda, and it's going to be blocked away. Yubo has to be called in on defense, and he's going to make a big save to keep this one out of here. Now, Flick's trying to take over, and Nobody has to block it here. He gets the block, and it's cleared out. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, Galactic are running out of time, and they're running out of hope. The tanks are running on empty. 25 seconds left, and you gotta go for your playoff life. All season, they've worked so hard, and it may all be for naught. Nobody flip across, trying to get a netward. Yubo blocked out. Flicks follow up. Where's the follow up? Nobody blocked. That may be it. Galactic are gonna be your first team eliminated from the playoffs, as they will lose 3-0 to Lethal Synergy. And we just saw dominance. Nobody could have expected it to play out this way. but it did. We're going to bring in the star duo from Lethal Synergy. And guys, welcome in. So, first question gotta ask. What was the decision to play Crocs? What came down to that? Fair enough now. Obviously, I mean, it was a 3-0. That was dominant from you guys. Uh, Obviously, the forfeit wasn't what you guys wanted in the first round. How do you kind of bring the mental back after like an unfortunate kind of? Oh my god, stream can't hear you. Hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
forgot I
look at
had that
Shadow
muted.
fucking throwing, bro. Look at Shadow throwing.
Sorry. Sorry.
To answer the first question again, Croc showed up an hour early, so we're gonna play Homeboy because he was the first. He was the first one on before even me, so we're gonna play him. He showed up. He put in the time. He warmed up. We're gonna play him. And mental never faltered. It probably actually got better.
Fair enough. Now, looking ahead a little bit in the playoffs, you guys will move on to lower round 2, where you will get. So first, SG and Rebellion have to play, and then the winner of that match plays Tier 1, and you guys play the loser of Tier 1 versus the winner of SG and Rebellion. Do you guys have any thoughts, predictions?
Yeah, so we played Tier 1. We played Tier 1.
Got it.
Fair enough.
It's going to be another 3-0 in dominant fashion.
Fair enough.
Our season usual.
I could see us doing a 3-1. I could see a 3-1.
Yeah, I think 3-1's more accurate for us. Today was a little bit weird. We weren't ourselves.
I know. I don't know what happened.
And we almost lost our game 1 until we remembered.
I know. We almost lost our game 2 too.
Fair enough. Yubo, I need you in VC after the broadcast. But guys, thank you so much for coming on. Congratulations on your win. And obviously, hopefully you guys can continue a run through the lower bracket. Hope you guys have a good night.
Oh, I actually no longer affiliate myself with Lethal Synergy. I will be FA with Hazel. We're 2v3ing for the rest of the tournament.
Bro got benched once again.
Yeah, I need quick I need you to quickly address the allegations of why do you just bully and harass your players? I mean, constantly benching them like a tyrant, like
liberal propaganda.
No, not on stream, not on stream. Meeting Discord. Have a good night, guys. GG's. Those guys. But that was our match. I mean, I unfortunately we were hoping to see a bit more out of Galactic, but unfortunately we just didn't. But ladies and gentlemen, still make sure to stick around. We still have some things to talk about. So SG and Rebellion need to be rescheduled, but basically if they cannot find a time to reschedule to, SG will have to forfeit. Which will be... That would be an interesting one. If SG are in the lower bracket. They've said that they do want to reschedule it, so we expect it to be rescheduled, but who knows? I mean, things happen. But another thing is Enigma and Most Hated is expected to occur next week, and along with the lower round one and the other upper semifinals. But unfortunately, that will be Champions League saying goodbye to Galactic for the season. What a season it was out of them. Just looking back a little bit, Flicks, Nobody, Scrub, and Bolton. It was PBBH before he got dropped for Scrub. Flicks taking over captainship for Bolton, and I mean, what a season. But unfortunately, sometimes you just got to say goodbye to some teams. They will be out for the playoffs, and hopefully we can see them back next season better than ever. But ladies and gentlemen, we will be rating out. Please make sure to stick around. It helps promote Champions League as we look to spread the name and spread the image of Champions League for next season. But ladies and gentlemen, I promised you guys that you'd always get some sneak peeks into next season, and let's just say there's going to be some big names coming to Champions League, and new rivals will emerge. So make sure to keep an eye out for all of that. We will have a stream announcing all of the details of Season 3 directly after the championship in about 4 weeks from now. So make sure to stick around. Also, who knows, we could see some players move up and down in the rating charts. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to raid out now. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Make sure to copy the raid message. Again, we're going to help spread the name of Champions League. We hope you all take care and have a great night.